Hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm. Something followed me home today. Not that thing up there either. He went with me and I couldn't convince him to stay. We have a International 300 utility. By the serial number, I would say, I didn't even look. It's 10,000. What's that say? 10,000 something or other.
10,095.
Yeah, 10,095 is the serial number. Okay then. And according to, let's see, where's it at? Tractor data, it's a 1955. So, some more old relics to add to the collection, right? The guy I bought it from was trying to put a Petronix electronic ignition on it and could never get it to run. So that's what I'm sorting out right now. Luckily for all, he kept the points set up, although he says the condenser is bad. But anyway, that's what they call this one, is a 1442 IH 4-cylinder distributor kit. So anyway, Petronix igniter electronic ignition. The coil that was on it does not say if it's a 6-volt coil or a 12-volt coil. So of course it was not wired up when I got it, and so on and so forth. But anyway, basically we're looking at a couple of different options as to whether or not what we need to do here. We've got to have a power wire from the ignition switch, which should be this one. Notice I said should, but anyway, it does go up there in the vicinity of the ignition switch. And then we either have to run to this to the ballast resistor and then power, and anyway, whatever we've got. Well, yeah, here. It'll be all right. So we have without, which is what I think we have anyway, without a resistor and with a resistor. Okay, so we'll try and wire it up both ways and see which way works, I guess. All right, so we're wired up here. So yeah, we've got our wire from the ignition switch through the ballast resistor, from the ballast resistor to the positive on the coil, and then we have the red wire for our Petronix ignition to the positive on the coil also, and then we have the black wire from the Petronix ignition on the negative of the coil, just like it shows right here. Okay, so what? Okay, so we're wired up, everything's hooked up. Let's see what happens. Well, the starter misses. That's what happens, right? Well, it's cranking anyway. Let's see.
That's a good sign.
Let's see. And we got fuel in the line to the carburetor, so that's good. I don't like that it doesn't have a shutoff, but it's got fuel in line to the carburetor. And that's some pretty gunky, nasty looking stuff. But anyway, didn't come with the original air cleaner, but it's got that thing on it. So anyway, let's see. I don't think choke works very well according to that, so let's give it some choke.
It's cranking. That's a good sign right, Dad.
Yeah, it's cranking. That's a good sign, but it's not running. Now is it?
It's a medium-sized good size.
Okay, so sometimes I miss points because then you can just open up the distributor and look in there and say, okay, it's sparking or it's not. But anyway, let me, yeah, we'll figure something out. Alright, so I've wired it with and without the ballast resistor, and we still don't have any spark. So next question is the coil any good? Well, let's find out. Well, because if it doesn't have a coil, it won't start. That's why it won't make spark. So I set my voltmeter on ohms. And we're going to ohm through the coil. And that is pretty high.
Is that good or bad?
Well, could go either way, but I'm going to say it was not very good.
Maybe it's been sitting too long that it doesn't want to work.
Yeah, anyway, we're getting mega ohms resistance through the coil on, well, yeah, through the coil of the coil, right? No, yeah, 0.970 millions of ohms. Now, of course, I don't know what is really standard for a coil. But anyway, we're going to try something real quick. Okay, so after wiring it several different ways and what have you, I'm starting to believe that this little so-called module in here is bad, although it just uses an electronic pulse from a magnet to make it the coil break and, you know, throw a spark. So anyway, so either this is not incorrectly, which I don't know how you take that off, but anyway, I'll figure it out in a minute, or something is fried, because all it should be is just two magnets in there basically, I think, that makes this work. But anyway, fun stuff. Okay, so we have come to the conclusion that this nifty little doodad in here is no good. Okay, we set right there. Which you probably can't see that, but anyway, 5.246 kilo ohms. That's a lot of ohms. Anyway, when we spin this, sometimes the starter don't work exactly right, but anyway, give it a little turn. It should at least show this trying to change, and it's not. So another thing we could try would be to put it on AC volts, I guess. Okay, so it is generating an AC voltage. 3 volts, it's showing pulse width. So I guess that part is working. But we're still not getting any sparks.
No sparks.
No sparks at all.
Nice.
Okay, so according to this Pertronix website, we should see. Alright. So first step, you connect a jumper wire from the negative terminal of the battery to the base plate of the igniter module. Okay, then you connect, or you disconnect this wire, which should be the positive of the coil, which goes to in there to that module also. And you disconnect the negative wire to the coil, which also goes in here to that, and you connect the black lead to the negative wire and the other positive lead of a multimeter to the positive on the battery. And then while cranking, it should fluctuate between 12 volts between battery voltage and 0 volts. So operating on the theory that it's going too fast for my meter to read, we're seeing a fluctuation in voltage. So that should all be working, which means basically we have a bad coil, even though it ohms out good somehow. So I guess that's where we're at with this thing for today, because I don't have another coil here, whether it be another thing is this coil, it says that you have to have a minimum of 3 ohms of resistance through the coil. This one is 4 ohms, so it doesn't need a ballast resistor. But this is a coil, a Pertronix flamethrower coil, so you know, you would expect it to be right, or at least I would. I don't think there's a whole lot more I can really do with it, but I'm going to keep piddling anyway, just to make sure there's not something I'm overlooking. But you know, we've got 4 ohms through across the coil, and then it does not, let's see, from positive or negative to the contact in the center, does not have continuity there. So it should honestly be working, but then again, according to all the rest of this stuff, so should it. But we'll see what I come up with. I don't think, you know, the rotor button, I've seen worse, or I should say the rotor, I've seen way worse. I don't see anything burnt on it too much or anything else, but anyway, I'll keep piddling and see if we can make it spark, make it run. All right, so welcome back to round 2 of getting the 300 utility to run. Went and got a Autolite International tune-up kit from my local Napa. That's better. Anyway, so I'm in the process of just stripping this out. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna use this or not use electronic ignition, because I am aware of the benefits and whatnot everywhere else. But you know, when it comes right down to it, if it doesn't work, then why not put stuff in it that works? So we're gonna go back to points and see what happens after that. Okay, so there be's the problem. He let the smoke out of the igniter module here. So yeah, definitely going to points for today, and we'll see what one of these things costs. Maybe we'll worry about it another day, or maybe I'll just keep running points. Either way, doesn't matter to me. Okay, so here we have our basic points ignition installation. I don't know how much of that you can see in there because I can't really see the cam screen, but anyway, this is your contacts right here. This is the cam and the distributor, the square piece. Okay, when it gets to the point, it opens these up, which drops the field into coil and makes it spark. This is a condenser or a capacitor, more technically a capacitor than a condenser, because it does actually store a charge, but again, we just call things different things all the time, so it's all right. Next up, we got to put this guy in there. Not detrimental if you don't have it, but it definitely will help you out some. Then we need the, let's see, that's not the new rotor button. or rotor, whatever you prefer to call it. It's over here. So we have a brand new rotor. And then this thing, it just moves the spark from the coil. Come on, get in there. Thing. I guess that's it. Okay. It moves the spark around inside the distributor cap so that it makes each cylinder fire. We still got to do a little wiring, but we're pretty much done. Okay, so now, if everything's right, we have sparks. Well, come on over here. Come up here right there in front of me and look in there. Okay? Come here, around here, face, stand like I am. Okay? Stand like I am. Okay, get over here right in front of me, right there. Look in there. Okay? See that blue spark in there? Huh?
No, I didn't.
Well, look right here on these tips right there. Okay? Well, you darn thing, you. See, look. See sparks? I see sparks. Okay?
Awesome.
All right, then.
Then it's going to be ready here soon.
It is? All right, well, hopefully we'll be done with this little project before then. Well, here goes. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we're carbureting or not. Now that we got sparks, it probably isn't carbureting. Anyway, let's try a little throttle. I'll figure that one out too. Well, how about that? So this is the screen and the inlet of the carburetor. Doesn't look real healthy. Anyway, try and clean this thing out and see what happens. Okay, so that crud wasn't there a minute ago. I cleaned that out of this thing. And of course the screen itself was pretty nasty, so maybe, just maybe, I'll get lucky and it'll start now. Don't know, but maybe. If more than likely, judging by that and how plugged up the screen was, we're gonna have to take the carburetor off and clean it. But you know, all things in good time. I wonder if I need a distributor cap. That might also be part of the problem, along with the fact that it's not getting any spark, or not getting fuel. Alright, well, we've got spark at our points still. The coil is not hot, but it is a little bit warm. We're not getting any spark up to our spark plugs, however, or any out of the coil as far as that goes. So, but we do have spark. Oh, come on, fire. Dang on it. Okay, that come off. Pick that up, please. Still have spark there. Wonder if my gap isn't wide enough for some reason. Anyway, I think we're going to call this one good for right now, because we're more than likely going to have to tear the carburetor apart and maybe replace a distributor cap to get this thing running. It looks new on the inside. I mean, really it does. I've seen way worse, but I'm not getting any spark out of this thing for some reason. which who knows, it might be the coil wire. But anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.